Today I'm going to show you the easiest React chatbot you can build with n8n, and it will only take you 15 or maximum 20 minutes to build it. And this chatbot has two separate workflows. The first one is the workflow we're going to use to consistently feed it more and more information so we can make it more knowledgeable so it continues to learn. And the second automation is the actual chatbot that will talk to us, and it will search the vector database and answer questions based on the knowledge in that vector database. And if you want all these blueprints for free and any other blueprints that I have for n8n, templates, GPTs, come and join my new school community. It's called AI Business Builders, and I will put the details under the video. Okay, now let's start building. Okay, let's start with our first workflow that will be feeding our vector database. What I want you to do is go to your Google Drive, create a folder, and upload at least one document into that folder. I decided to go very simple, so I created a folder called restaurant, and I uploaded a very basic menu. Okay, so back to our n8n, and the first step is our trigger, which will be a Google Drive trigger. And we're going to look for on changes involving a specific folder. And you can change the mode, how often it's looking for something new. And that will really depend on how often you will be adding new documents. So if you're adding documents constantly, you may have to go every minute. If you're going to be adding every couple of weeks, you can put it every week or every month, entirely up to you. And we're going to leave the trigger as it is. We're going to look for our folder. So our folder was a restaurant, and it's going to show it in a second. And then we're going to watch for file created. Okay, back to Canvas. Actually, let's fetch some test events. Here's our test event, and I'm going to pin it so we can continue testing. The next thing we need to do is, now that we've looked and found a file, we need to actually download this file. And again, we'll look for Google Drive, and we're going to look for download file. And basically we're going to leave everything the same except for the file here, because we want to look by ID. And let me just find it. Oops, sorry. Let me find it. Google gives us so much information that there is. So you're going to look at spaces, and this is where you're going to find your ID. And if we test the step, we just want to make sure that we're getting this menu here, which we are. As you can see, the file name is menu, so this is working fine. Okay, the next thing is we need to get our Pinecone store, vector store, and we want to add documents. Okay, if you haven't created a credential for Pinecone, you'll just click on add new credential, and all you need is the API key. And when you sign into your Pinecone, you'll see on the left hand side here where it says API keys. All you need to do is create a new API key, give it a name, and then copy and paste it in here. And what we want to do once we're connected to our Pinecone vector store is to choose our index. So how do you create this index? If you go back to your Pinecone vector database, you can click on database and then create index. And I'm going to create an index that is called, say, menu. That's all I need to say. Try to create just one word, because, for example, in Pinecone, you cannot use underscores. You can just use dashes. But on the other hand, in n8n, if you try to give it the name with a dash, so if you create, say, menu M, if you try to give it the name this way, it will say, no, I cannot accept dashes. I can accept only underscores. So I've learned to just create one word as the name for my index. And then all you need to select is embedding 3 small and create the index. And our index is ready. And now, as you can see, it has no records yet. So if we go back in here, and I will go back and let me see. It's not allowing me to, let me get out and I'll get back in and see if it will give me, it will allow me, here it is, menu. And I'm also going to select the Pinecone namespace option, because what is good about it is that when you give it the namespace, all the information, all the documents will be loaded under this namespace. And we are done. And the next thing we need to add is embeddings. I'm going to use OpenAI. And make sure, even though it's showing, like if you don't select it, if you actually don't click and select and you go back to canvas, it will show you that it's not working. I don't know why. So basically you need to go in and kind of, make sure that you're selecting the same embedding tree small as what you selected for your database. And we're going to go out. Then we are going to go with the default data loader. And the type of data that we're going to look for is binary. We're going to load all input data. We're going to automatically detect the MIME type. And then we're going to look for the metadata. And this is what we want. And we're going to add property. The name will be file name. And the value will be our ID again, which I am trying to find once again. Where is it? Right here. We're going to look for, oops, what happened? Here we go. Okay. The next thing we need to add is the text splitter. And we're going to go with the recursive character text splitter. Now, here's the thing. If you have like really large documents, you may want your chunk size to be bigger and the chunk overlap to be bigger as well. Now, there's no right or wrong thing. It's really hard, and a lot of the times you need to actually play with it so you can really adjust how your data is stored in that vector database. But because my document is super small, I'll just give it a 500 chunk size and I overlap it by 50. As I said, this is something you need to experiment with. It is not something that is set. Okay, now let's test our workflow. I'm going to click test. And as you can see, it's getting everything. It's gone through. And now if we go back to our vector database and check again, and now we have 9 records in our database. All right. Off to number 2. In our second workflow, we're going to add the on-chat message as our trigger. You can make it publicly available. And you can also give it an initial message. I can say, hey there, I'm the restaurant's, I'm the restaurant's AI ready to help with the menu. And we're going to go back to our canvas. And the next thing is to add our agent. And we're going to click on Advanced AI and AI agent. And this message, I'm just going to copy and paste here. And I'm going to say, you're an AI assistant designed to answer questions using information stored in the Pinecone vector store. And I'm just going to put here menu. You do not rely on general knowledge or pre-trained models for answers. All your responses must come from data retrieved from the vector database. Use the vector database tool to search for relevant embeddings and retrieve context-specific information for the user's questions. Don't hallucinate. And this is basically all I'm going to do here. Then for chat model, I'm going to select my AI. I use OpenAI, but you can use anything else you want. I will go with the Thor Mini. The next thing is we want to give it a memory. So we're going to go with window buffer memory. And again, the default memory is 5, so it will remember 5 previous messages, but you can choose anything you want. It can be 0, it can be 1, it can be 10. The next thing we want to do is actually add the tool. And what we want is to answer the questions with our vector store. And what we're going to do is answer vector store question answer tool. And what we're going to do is give the name as it is in the database, and then all we're going to say is retrieves data from the vector store database to answer users' questions. And then you can have, this is the maximum number of results to return. The default is 4, you can put 5, you can put 10, you can put any number you want. And again, you have to test all these things to see what works for your specific situation. Then the next thing we want to do is we want to get the in-memory vectors. We want to get the Pinecone vector store. We've got the account. Then we're going to leave the operation mode as it is. And then from list, again, we're going to choose menu. And then we are going to look for our Pinecone namespace, and again, make sure that we've got the exact name written. Okay, the other thing is we need the embedding, and we're going to embed with OpenAI. And again, make sure that you select the 3 small. What else do we need? We're done here, but on this side here, we still need to grab our AI that we need to use, and we're going to select GPT-4o Mini. And this is it. It's all done now. Now let's test it. I'm gonna save it, and I'm going to make it as active. And then I'm going to have a chat. And we're going to say, what is the special, the special today? And it's going to go through, it's going to look into the vector database, and it's going to give us a special. And let's have a look if it's going to give us just one. It's actually giving us a few different things, which I think they're all in the menu. We have the lobster, we have the pistachio ice cream. I think it gave us one of everything in here, not specifically the specials, but at least it got one of the specials. But as I said, you will need to fine-tune your prompts a little bit better. Like, this was just a fun project right now. I don't know anything about restaurants. I just quickly created the menu with ChatGPT, but I just wanted to show you how it works. And the first thing is you need to create a really good system message. The better your system message is, the better the results are going to be. Also, your documentation, like, it may need to be a little bit different. You may have to have one document for entries, one document for salads, one document for main dishes, one document for desserts, one document for specials, and it will look for its specials. So everything has to be fine-tuned really well. But all I want to show you is how easy it is to create this agent. And as I said, it's only going to take you like 15 minutes or so, and you're good to go.